Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Principles and Practices of Accounting. In this lecture, we'll continue with Chapter 2, that is Accounting Process, and we'll continue with Unit 6, particularly, that is Rectification of Errors. All the forthcoming concepts will be covered in the coming series of lectures. So let us begin. This is lecture number 13. We need to continue from here today, that is correction in the next accounting period. Case 1 and case 2 is already done. Case 1 was before preparation of trial balance the error is detected. Case 2, after preparation of trial balance the case is deducted, but before finalization of books of accounts. This is the third case. Over here we have finalized the books of accounts, it is already prepared, and right now the correction is done in the next accounting period. Rectification of error discussed so far assumes that it was carried out before the books were finalized, that is, before the books was closed for the concerned year. However, the rectification is carried out in the next year in this case, that is, carrying forward and the balance in the suspense account or even transferring it to capital account. Suppose the purchase book was cast short by 1000 rupees in December 2015 and suspense account was opened with the difference in the trial balance. If the error is rectified next year, the entry passed is debit purchases account and credit suspense account. It will mean that purchase account for the year 2016 will be 1000 more than in relation to 2016. So it is not correct, and thus the profit that year 2016 will be less as actual. This will not show the correct figure. Thus, the correction of error in this manner will falsify the profit and loss account. So this is not correct. This is not correct. Let's continue. To avoid this problem, corrections of all the amounts concerning nominal accounts, example, rent, wages, electricity, expenses, etc., that is expenses and incomes, should be through a special account styled as prior period items, or we can also say it as profit and loss adjustment account. My dear students, if you could use profit and loss adjustment account, that would be great. The balance in that account should be transferred to the profit and loss account later on. However, these prior period items should be charged after deriving net profits of the year. That is, prior period items are material income or material expenses which arise in the current period and as a result of errors or omissions in the preparation of financial statements of one or more periods. Prior period items should be separately disclosed in the current statements of profit and loss together with the nature and amount in a manner that their impact on the current profit and loss can be perceived. I believe you understood that we don't want to affect the current profit and loss account, and that is why all the adjustments of previous year or past that is detected right now will be rectified using profit and loss appropriation accounts. Past errors which are detected in current year will be rectified through a special account, through a special account known as profit and loss appropriation account. Prior period items. I hope you understood this. I believe you understood this. Let us continue and see few illustrations in relation to this. Illustration number 8. Mr. Roy was unable to agree trial balance last year and wrote the difference in profit and loss account of that year. Next year, he appointed a chartered accountant who examined the old books and found the following mistakes. First mistake, purchase of a scooter was debited to conveyance account, that is 3000. A scooter is purchased, that means scooter account would be debited, or you can say motor vehicle account would be debited. But wrongly they debited this to where? Conveyance account. That means wrongly they debited to conveyance account. Now we need to rectify. So what we will do over here, my dear students, a lot of focus is required over here. You should understand that instead of debiting motor vehicle by 3000, we have debited conveyance by 3000. So conveyance 3000 is debited. How to rectify this error? What we will do? We will debit motor vehicle or scooter. Motor vehicle account would be debited now, and because this is conveyance, but this conveyance relates to the previous year, which will be affecting the profit and loss account. So this would be sorted out using a special account known as profit and loss adjustment account. In this question there is a crux. Just read this last point. Mr. Roy used 10% depreciation on vehicle. So 10% depreciation on vehicle means 3000 minus 10%, that is 300. 300 needs to be debited over here, and we have debited 3000. That means instead of debiting 300, we have debited 3000. That means the mistake is only of 2700. So profit will be affected by 2700 only, and that is why the new entry will be of 2700. A lot of attention is required. I believe you must have understood this. Scooter needs to be debited 3000. By mistake we have debited the conveyance. We should not debit the conveyance, but we should debit the depreciation by 300. So there is a wrong debit of 2700, and that is why we have credited P&L adjustment account by 2700, because whether it is depreciation or whether it is conveyance, it is affecting my profits of the current year. Let's continue with point number 2. Purchase account was overcast by 1000. Purchase account overcast by 10,000. That means what? You had shown more purchases of 10,000. Because the purchases is inflated, that is why the profits will be down by 10,000, and that is why the profit and loss adjustment account should be used to rectify this error. Just see it over here. Motor vehicle account we have already done. Just see it over here that by mistake we have purchase account was overcast. By mistake, we have shown an extra purchase of 10,000. Because of the extra purchase of 10,000, what we will do, the profits will be down, and that is why we need to adjust the purchase. How we will solve this? Purchase account, extra purchase 10,000, so we will credit purchase account, two purchases 10,000. But over here we will not use the word purchase, we will use the word profit and loss adjustment account. And on the debit side, if nothing is there, we will use the word suspense account. I think it is clear. Let us go to the third one now. A credit purchase of goods from P for 2000 entered as a sale. We have done a credit purchase, that means purchase account should be debited, but by mistake we have credited the sale. So 2000 needs to be debited. We have credited sale by 2000. We are here. Supposingly, if this is a credit purchase, in that case what will happen, my dear students? Because of the purchase, the profit will be low by 2000. But instead of recording purchase, we have recorded sales of 2000. So profit will inflate by 4000. Now we need to rectify the profit. So we need to downsize it by 4000. I believe it is clear now. Just see it over here. And what we have done, profit and loss adjustment account to P's account, we have downsized it by 4000. I think it is clear. We need to reduce the profit over here by 4000, and that is why we had reduced the profit by using profit and loss adjustment account, and that is why we have debited profit and loss adjustment account to reduce the profit by 4000. Point number 4. Receipt of cash from Mr. A was posted to account of Mr. B 1000. So receipt of cash from Mr. A, entry would be cash account debited to A account, but by mistake posted to the account of B, and that is why we have credited B. So we will debit B and credit A to rectify this error. B's account will be debit and A's account will be credit. I believe you understand this. Amount received from Mr. A wrongly posted to the account of B, now rectified. By mistake we have written B over here, so we have rectified. We should record what entry? Cash account to A, but what we have recorded? Cash to B. So what would be the rectification entry? B to A. I think it is clear. Let's see the fifth one now. Receipt of cash from Mr. C was posted to the debit of his account 500. Receipt of cash, that means cash account debited to Mr. C 500. What we have done, posted to the debit of his account as 500. So we have recorded this correct, that is cash 500, but by mistake over here we have recorded C debit 500, which is wrong. C needs to be credited. So we will credit C now. C account will be credited to C account 500, and this is the mistake, so we will rectify this mistake to C account 500, and in debit side we will record what? Nothing but suspense account. The entry for point number 5 would be suspense account debit 1000 to C account 1000. See it over here, suspense to C 1000. Let us move ahead and see point number 6. 500 rupees due by Mr. Q was omitted to be taken to trial balance. Rupee 500 due by Mr. Q was omitted to be taken to trial balance. So we have done this mistake. How we will rectify this? Dear students, let us see this point number 6. The amount is due and we have not recorded in the trial balance. So trade receivable account would be debited to nothing but suspense account. What is the amount in case of 6? It is 500. 500. Let us solve point number 7 now. Just see this point number 6. Trade receivable to suspense 500. 7 point talks about sale of goods to Mr. R for 2000 omitted to be recorded. Quite simple. R to sales, the entry is R to sales. But we will not use the word sales because nominal account. We will use P&L appropriation account or prior period item 2000. Let's see point number 8. Amount of 2395 of purchase was wrongly posted as 2593. Error of commission 2395 posted 2593 and this is purchase. Because of the purchase the profit will come down. Because of the purchase the profit will come down. So how we will rectify it? 2395 wrongly posted as 2593. Okay, we have inflated the figure of purchases, so we need to reduce it. We need to reduce it because if we inflated the figure of purchase, that means the profit will be low. So to rectify it, what we will do? P&L adjustment account will be credited, and on debit side we will write suspense account. Suspense account. We should calculate the difference. 2593 minus 2395. 198. Okay. Fine. Let us continue. So by using the above items, we can make profit and loss adjustment account now. Profit and loss adjustment account can be prepared. And on the same line of action, the suspense account could also be prepared. Okay. Okay, so I believe you had done till here. Let us continue by solving multiple choice questions now. Let us shift to the MCQ now. So the first MCQ, goods purchased from A for 10,000 passed through sales book. We have purchased the goods, but we have passed through sales book. Purchases will decrease the profit, sales will increase the profit. Decrease the profit, and due to sales increase the profit. Increase in profit. The error will result in number 1, increase in gross profit, decrease in gross profit, no effect in the gross profit. Obviously, increase in the gross profit. Why? Because we have passed through it to the sales book. Let us shift to the second MCQ, and that talks about if a purchase return of 1000 has been wrongly posted to debit of sales return account but has been correctly entered in the supplier's account, the totals of a trial balance would show the debit side to be 1000 more than the credit. Trial balance would show credit side to be 1000 more than debit, and the debit side of the trial balance will be 2000 more than the credit side. My dear students, this is error in both the accounts. So a purchase return that is 1000 is wrongly posted through debit of sales return account. In that case, what will happen? We have debited, we should debit it, and we had debited it more. So the debit side of the trial balance will be 2000 more than the credit side. I think you are clear. The answer is C. Let's shift to question number 3. If the amount is posted in the wrong account or it is written on the wrong side of the account, it is called what? A. Error of omission. B. Error of commission. C. Error of principal. The answer is B, that is error of commission. I believe you understood it well. The answer is B, that is error of commission. Fourth one, rupee 200 paid as wages for erecting a machine. That should be debited to what? Erection of machines should be debited to what? A. Repairs account. B. Machine account. C. Capital account. Should be debited to machine account. The erection of machine should be debited to machine account, that we have paid wages for the new machine, obviously. Next, on purchase of old furniture, the amount of 1000 spent on its repair should be debited to repair account, furniture account, cash account. On purchase of old furniture, you had purchased an old furniture. The amount of 1000 spent on repairs should be debited to where? Furniture account. Furniture account. Adding value to it. Adding value to old furniture. Clear? Let's shift to question number 6 now. Goods worth 50 rupees given as charity should be credited to where? Goods worth 50 you had given as charity. Whenever you had purchased the goods, we have written purchase account debit. and you are giving this goods in charity. So purchased account should be credited. I believe I'm making sense to you. Purchase account needs to be credited. Next, goods worth rupee 100 taken by proprietor for domestic use. Drawings. Credited to where? Credited to purchase account. Same. Drawings to purchase. Drawings account debited rupee 100 to purchase account. Purchase account rupee 100. Next, sales of office furniture should be credited to. You are selling the office furniture, that should be credited to where? It's furniture, so furniture account. Supposingly you are selling the furniture for bank, so bank account will be debited. Say for example it is 1000. The answer is furniture, B. We are moving ahead. The preparation of trial balance is for A. Locating errors of commission, locating errors of principal, C. Locating clerical errors. My dear students, locating clerical errors, mathematical accuracy, for checking mathematical or arithmetical accuracy. Accuracy of the business. Clear? Let's go to question number 10, 10th MCQ, that talks about rupee 200 received from Smith, whose account was written as bad debt, should be credited to where? A. Bad debt recovered account, B. Smith account, C. Cash account. Should be credited to. It should not be credited to Smith account. It should be credited to bad debt recovered account. Cash account debit rupee 200 to bad debt recovered account. Rupee 200. Is it clear to all of you? Let's shift to the next question. Purchase of office furniture, capital asset, rupees 1200 has been debited to general expenses account. Capital expenditure is treated as revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure is treated as what? Revenue expenditure. It is error, clerical error, error of principle, or an error of omission. It is an error of principle. Not followed accounting principles. Not followed accounting principles and policies. Okay? Let us continue with theory questions now. The first question is, how does error of omission differ from error of commission? How error of omission differs from error of commission? Take notes along with me. The error of omission refers to the error in which a transaction is not at all recorded in the books. In the books, either completely or partially. Next is error of commission. Just write error of commission implies the error in which the transaction is incorrectly recorded in the books. Incorrectly recorded in the books. Let's see another question now. What is error of principle and how does it affect trial balance? An error. An error of principle is an accounting mistake is an accounting mistake in which an entry violates a fundamental principle. Principle of what? Principle of accounting or a fundamental accounting principle established by a company. Okay? Established by a company. Error of principle typically include correct amounts but violations of company accounting principle. But violations of account principles. Example, treating purchase of an asset as an expense it is an error of principle. In this case, there is no effect on the trial balance, since the amount are placed on the correct side. But we have treated a capital expenditure as revenue expenditure. I believe you understood till here. So we have done this theory question also. We have covered with MCQ part. So in total, what we have learnt in this chapter till yet, we have learned that error can occur basically in three cases. In first case, a error could be there before preparation and finalization of trial balance. In second case, the error could happen after preparation of trial balance but before preparation of final books of accounts, that is financial statements, that is profit and loss account and income statement of financial position, that is balance sheet. In the third case, even after the preparation of financial books of accounts, an error could happen, but that is to be rectified in the next year. So in the first case, generally wrong entry or wrong posting is used to rectify errors. In the second case, the word suspense is used to rectify errors. And in the third case, we use profit and loss appropriation account, adjustment account, profit and loss adjustment account, or prior period items. And in this manner, we rectify the errors. Students, in this chapter, the practical questions is still left. We'll be continuing it in the next class and we'll try to complete the practical questions in the forthcoming lectures. I believe you must have understood till here. From here, we'll continue in the next question, the practical questions. Thank you.